yeah, you move to LA, and it's like it's tough.
Yeah, that first day where you
tough.
like get everything unpacked and then you just kind of like look around. You're like, all right, now what do I do?
Yeah, for sure. It's really the first year is really hard.
What was your strategy going into it, and then how did that change as it like became real?
Okay. I think I came with like an intention to just direct, and I think there was some flexibility that was needed at first to be able to switch into multiple roles. I think.
Are you trying to get directing jobs right when you move here, or are you
basically? I'm just meeting up with like
you're networking?
I'm networking. I'm meeting up with like commercial agencies and production companies and stuff.
And you had a
like
reel.
that. And I had a reel. I think basically my Detroit experience is the only reason I was able to come here and direct.
Yeah.
But it is pretty slow at first, and you need to be willing to hustle while you're getting things stood up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think really the main thing with it though is like it's just a mental test, particularly because
Crucible.
like 10 months into my move here, the pandemic hit. So I think that really extended the pain of the move because just like I basically from like March of 2020 until November of 2020, I didn't work. So that's rough. That's probably like, in screenwriting terms, the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
Like the extended crisis.
Yeah.
And then
that was like that was a prolonged period. I mean, it was just
really
like
rough. Yeah.
It's not like a month where it's like, oh, you had like a bad month. It was like, this is never going to end.
Yeah, for sure. It was like 9 months to flatten the curve. Yeah.
But okay, so during that time, like you're not getting jobs. So like what?
Yeah.
First of all, how are you surviving? And then like, how are you kind of pivoting during that time to like, all right, I got to cobble together a new strategy?
I mean, I will say that the unemployment that came in during that period was one of the things that really helped.
Yeah.
So thank you, Daddy Government.
Listen, I've taken unemployment before. It's not fun. Like, thankfully, I only had to do it for like a month. But I mean, that's why those systems are in place. It's like for people who, there's a hardship, and then you have to participate, and then obviously you hope that you get out of it. And for most people, they do. But to have that floor, I think, is like
for sure
important.
And it was like it was the pandemic assistance thing that they specifically set up. Right. Because of the shutdowns. Like, this wouldn't have been needed if it wasn't.
You were working. You were getting jobs.
Yeah. It was actually like phasing up to a point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm sustainable now.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you shut down everything. So at a certain point, I'm grateful for it. But at another point, it's like, guys, you shut everything down. Like,
right.
This is kind of like hand in hand. Both of these things are a little, kind of needed.
Well, not only that, it's also like the building your network and your circle and your Rolodex as you're going out and getting jobs, and like, because a lot of, especially like the commercial work, is a lot of like referral business. Like
for sure,
it's repeat business. People who need something else. Somebody like, oh, I got a really great guy. His name's Dave. You should give him a call. Like, and when that's not happening on a regular basis, it makes for scarcity.
For sure. Luckily, we live in the time of internet, though, and I was able to get the ball rolling through like online job listings where people are like, I need a dude to shoot my like yoga channels video, or like, random stuff like that. Like, I am launching a startup and I need some guy to make my pitch video. Like, so I found a lot of those types of things. I bought a camera so I could do a lot of like directing, shooting. And that's sort of how I phased everything up. And then through that, I think the referrals started coming in. And then once the referrals started coming in, that made me sustainable. And then, the budgets from that point sort of start to grow, and you start to find more serious clients. You start to find more like actual commercial work instead of like, corporate run and gun type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it phases up from there, but that's sort of how I phased up